So, like last time we have seen the Brahma Narada Samvad. So Narada is asking questions to Brahmaji to explain who is the cause for all this universe, how it is happening. So that we have seen. Yeah. So Parikshit Maharaj, he has heard this conversation between Narada Muni and Brahmaji. So even Sutta Goswami, Shaunikadi Rishis, they also wanted to know more about that conversation. How did Vyasadeva, Narada Muni, he has explained all those details in general in this world. They asked to know. So then, hearing that, Parikshit Maharaj, he was very much enlightened by hearing that question, and he started asking questions to Shukadeva Goswami. So he said that, please explain me more about how Narada Muni, when he received those instructions from Brahmaji, how he teached all those teachings to other people. So that he was asked. See, Narada Muni is all pervading in Srimad Bhagavatam. Means like many of the great personalities are his disciples, like Vyasadeva and also the Valmiki Muni, and there are other personalities in Bhagavatam again and again. It will come like Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prachin Varhi, Prachetas. So there are like so many devotees are there who are all preached by Narada Muni. So because Narada Muni has heard from Brahmaji how he is preaching, he wanted to know Parikshit Maharaj. And then he says that I also want to know all these wonderful Leela of Supreme Lord Hari, I want to hear. And please speak in such a way that I will be able to remember Krishna at the time of my death. When I am leaving my body, I should be able to remember Krishna. So that is my aim. So please speak all these past tense. And he glorifies this Krishna Kada. So what is the effect of that Krishna Kada? He says that Shrunvatah Shraddhaya Nityam Grunatascha Swacheshtitam Kalena Nati Dirgena Bhagavan Vishate Hrudi. So if someone Shraddhaya Nityam, with faith, if someone is hearing again and again these activities of the Supreme Lord, what will happen? Kalena Nati Dirgena means with very less time, Bhagavan, he enters into the heart of that person. So generally, like we know, the super soul, the Paramatma is there in everyone's heart. But what will happen by hearing regularly about the Lord is that, so Lord in the form of Bhagavan, that means in general Paramatma is neutral in everyone's heart. That means whoever has performed according to his karma, he reciprocates in Upadrishta Anumanta. But when one start performing hearing and chanting, this is like bhakti, core bhakti activities, then the Lord starts reciprocating in the role of Bhagavan. Means he starts entering into his heart as Bhagavan and treating the devotee as a person, like as a supreme Lord. So that's why next he says that Pravishta Karna Randrena Swanam Bhava Sarorum Dhunoti Shamaram Krishna Salilasya Yatashara. So Krishna, he will enter through the ear holes, Karna Randrena. So when someone starts hearing about Lord Krishna, Lord Hari's activities, so he is entering in the form of Bhagavan. That means he starts reciprocating with that person. And what is his reciprocation? He cleans the heart. Dhunoti Shamalam Krishna. So Dhunoti Shamalam, all the inauspicious things in the heart will be cleansed. Just like Shalilasya Yatasharat. Just like in Sharad season the water gets cleansed. Like that, when someone hearing about Krishna, it will wash away the faults in the heart. So that's why we are also daily reciting Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. So when someone hears regularly about the Lord, the dust in the heart will be washed away and the relationship with the Lord will be established. Swanam Bhava Saroruham. So in one's heart, that bhava with respect to the feelings towards the Lord, according to one's own relationship, that will start developing in one's heart when one hears about the Lord. So that's Parikshit Maharaj is glorifying. So in that way, when one completely purified of all contamination, what will happen? He's saying that Dhautatma Purusha Krishna Padamulam Namunchati. So when one completely Dhautatma, completely purified by hearing again and again, that Purusha, that personality, he will never give up the Krishna's lotus feet. So that means even if after liberation also, he will continue to hold that relationship with the Lord and he will never leave. Just like one example is given, Mukta Sarva Pariklesha Panta Swa Sharanam Yada. A person, a traveling person, who is always traveling, he will be tired, but when he comes home, he gains shelter. So when he sufficiently acquired the wealth, he will not go again. So similarly, he is freed from all suffering, so he will not go again outside. So similarly, a person who is completely purified, he will take shelter of Krishna and he will never leave the lotus feet of Krishna. So like that, Parikshit Maharaj, after encouraging Shukadeva Goswami to speak Harikatha, he asked several questions. So which will like this chapter is about asking several different questions, which Shukadeva Goswami answers in later on in different chapters. So he asks about that. No, we know that Jiva is a spiritual entity. So how did he why is Jiva is having a body made up of material elements? So what is the cause? Or like is there how to understand this? And you also described about the Lord from which this whole material, these 14 planetary systems are said to be composed of his body. So what is this like? Is he also similar to the humans who is having material bodies, or is he having spiritual body? So please explain about these bodies of the Paramatmas, like Garbhodakshay Vishnu, from whom the world is created, and Karmadakshay Vishnu, from which this all the universes are coming as hair poles, and he is also situated as super soul in everyone's heart. And he is also situated from him that Virat Purusha has come. So this is like where Hiranyagarbha is called as. So please explain about all these different forms. And he also asked about different times are there. Sometimes it is very huge times are there. Sometimes very less times are there. And the times of devatas different from the humans, and Brahmaji's time maybe time is different. So please explain about all these different kalpas, vikalpas, all the different time spans of different beings, and also speak about how different people experiences different karmas, and they how they because of that they attain different types of bodies. Please explain about these karmas and how they receive different bodies according to their karmas. And also, please speak about there are different planetary systems that are mentioned. So in the Earth and Patarloka, higher planetary systems, mountains, rivers, islands, so many things are there. Please explain about all those things. And also there are you mentioned universe is created. Please explain about the dimensions of the universe and how also different Varnashrama Dharma is there. So please explain about Varnashrama activities of devotees and also speak about yugas, their duration, yoga dharma, and what are the different activities of yoga avatars, in particular yoga avatara that will come. And please speak about sadharana dharma, which is like bhakti, and vishesha dharma, ashram dharma, apat dharma, when some dharma, which is like at the time of emergency, dharmas will change. So that is called apat dharma. Please explain about them. Please also speak about elements. That 24 elements are there, which are lent by Sankhya. Please speak about that. And please also how describe the rules how to worship Purushavataras like Kshirodaksha Vishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So how can we worship them? Please also speak about the yoga process, how by yoga mixed with bhakti, the people perform them. Please explain about. And how yogis, they destroy their subtle body and they attain different destinations. Please speak about all of them and all the Vedic conclusions. Please speak how a jiva can be delivered from this samsara. Please speak about that. And what are the favorable activities for bhakti and unfavorable activities, the bhakti, that please speak about all those things. And there are different rituals that are mentioned in Vedas and smarta, kamya, and traivargik karmas. Please mention about those rules and how jivas after pralaya at the time of pralaya, all the jivas merge into the body of the Supreme Lord, how they appear after pralaya, and how the atheists are created, and how what is the situation of Nitya Siddhas who are eternally liberated and situated with the Lord. And Lord performed so many leelas using his his Maya, Yoga Maya. So please speak about all these Lord's leelas. So in this way, Parikshit Maharaj asked several questions and he requested, I am a soul surrendered unto you. Whatever I asked, you speak, and whatever I also doesn't ask, please that also speak to me what is required. And you are the supreme authority, you know all the things in this world. So, and I don't worry about me because I'm fasting and I'm not eating and drinking anything. I'm not actually fatigued due to hunger and thirst. So, and because I'm hearing about all the Krishna's pastimes and you will speak about Krishna's pastimes, these will not disturb me. So, in this way, he encourages Parikshit Maharaj, so Shukadeva Goswami to speak more. So Shukadeva Goswami, hearing all these things, he was very much pleased. So at that time, he spoke this scripture called Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the essence of Vedas, and which the Lord only speak to Lord Brahma in his first day. So he started speaking all these questions, not in a sequence, but topic wise. So these are all several questions. All these questions are answered throughout Srimad Bhagavatam. So basically, Bhagavatam, maybe we can say the answers to all these questions. So many different aspects of our life, which sometimes we may ask these questions, or sometimes we may never might have asked also these questions. So they are all being asked by Parikshit Maharaj, and they are described in Srimad Bhagavatam in sequence, in topic by topic. So Parikshit Maharaj, Shukadeva Goswami, he first explains one of the question which he asked about how the living entity is spiritual, but he is kind of having the material body. So what is that? How he is contacting this material, although he is spiritual? So he says that actually the living entity is like spiritual and body is material, and but that connection between that spiritual and matter is actually only happen due to avidya shakti of the Lord. Otherwise, actually there is no connection. And actually the jiva is said to be superior to the matter because jiva is actually conscious. It has the capacity to think, like he knows that he exists. And body is actually dull matter. Only because jiva exists, soul exists in the body, the consciousness is there and jiva is able to perceive that body. But actually the body is made up of matter and jiva is superior to that matter. So he's experiencing all these things just like in a dream. So in a dream, person is sleeping, but he is imagining so many things. But once he wakes up, he understands that all this dream is like imaginary, it's not real. Similarly, a person is identifying with this body, which is made up of matter, although as a spirit soul, he has no connection with that body. That connection happened only because of Lord's Maya. Otherwise, there is no connection. So just like in a dream, although the tiger that chasing him is not real, but because he's identifying with that in the dream, he's thinking that he's being chased by the tiger. But once he away, he knows that the tiger is not actually real. So similarly, a person, although he is superior to this body, this subtle body also, but still because of Maya, Vidya potency of the Lord, is so much connected with that body and subtle body. So therefore, he is identifying with that body. So therefore, that conception of, because he is in connection with Ahankara and through that this whole subtle and gross body, he is thinking in terms of Aham Mameti, means this is mine, this body is mine, and whatever is in connection with this body is actually belongs to me. So in this way, he is thinking, always thinking in terms of aham mameti. So, and aham means my body. Whatever is connected to my body, the anything related to body, we think that belongs to us. So that is like aham mameti conception. So all these are because of Maya, Lord's three modes, which is like injected. The soul is identifying, because of that he is having all these misconceptions. So actually, like there are like two kinds of realizations he can have. One is like I am a soul separate from this body. So that is like kind of one kind of realization which he will have when he attains liberation from this body. But the more greater kind of realization is that I am a soul, Amsha of the Supreme Lord, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. I have a connection with the Supreme Lord and I have a relationship with the Lord, but due to my misidentification, now I am identifying with this my body. I am identifying with this my subtle body ahankara, and through that I am identifying with this gross body, that is aham, and through that I am, whatever relates to that body, I am thinking it belongs to me, that is mama concept. So but realization or liberation means one is like identifying oneself as the seer, different from these activities of subtle body and gross body. That is one kind of revelation. Greater kind of revelation is I am actually part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, who is spiritual, not at all connected with this material 24 elements. And as I am also a soul, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, have a relationship with the Lord. And but now I am identifying with this subtle body. So these are like, by that he can come out of this relationship. So that's what he is saying, that by bhakti, when when person who is having knowledge, by knowledge, by when he becomes attached to the Supreme Lord, and in that way, when he comes out of this Maya illusion, so that time he understands that he is different from this gross and subtle bodies, and then he will be situated in his own glory. Sve Mahimni means the Jiva is originally, he is having lot of Satchit Ananda. It is also eternal, it also has cognizance, and it also has Ananda inherent in the soul. But now, because of misconception, it is suffering the misidentification with the body, it is suffering due to the bodily identification. that original bliss is missing. But when he is free from all these misconceptions by bhakti, he will be situated in his original glory, free of all illusions. So the any whatever, whether he wants to achieve realization of I am different from this body, or he wants to achieve realization that I am part and parcel of the Lord, for both, but the aspect of bhakti is required. When bhakti is little bit and more other aspects of jnana and yoga and other aspects are more, then he will only achieve the realization of I am different from this body through that knowledge and yoga with little bhakti. But when bhakti element is more, so that time he will directly realize that I am part and parcel of the Lord and I have particular relationship with the Lord. So with that he will be able to liberate himself. So for this, to substantiate this understanding and also to explain about other concepts like what is the Lord's form and what is the Jiva's position. So he starts narrating again one more incident between the conversation between Lord Brahma and the Supreme Lord Vishnu. So previously we have seen the conversation between Lord Narada Muni and Lord Brahma. So now one more incident where Brahmaji is discussing with Lord Vishnu. So this happens even before the conversation between Narada and Brahma. So that is being described now. So Brahmaji, he was born from the lotus, from a lotus. He has appeared. So he wanted to know from where he was just born from this lotus, and he is looking around and seeing, but he could not understand what is his position and how to create and all those things. He was not able to understand everything. That time he heard from some voice, from the words tapa, tapa. So like that, 2 times he could hear these 2 words, tapa, tapa. So Brahmaji, although he could not see any person, but he heard only these 2 words. Therefore, he understood that someone is directing him to perform tapasya. So therefore, let me do that tapasya. So like that, he started performing tapasya for the tapasya without any material desire, and he started meditating, and for 10,000 years, for 1,000 celestial years, he performed the tapasya with controlling his senses, prana and everything, and concentrating his mind. So that time, because the Lord is pleased with Brahmaji's tapasya, the Lord showed his form. So this is very beautiful section in Srimad Bhagavatam, where the description of Vaikuntha that Brahmaji saw, that is being described. So Vaikuntha description is there here. So in that Vaikuntha, it is mentioned that when Brahmaji saw the Vaikuntha, he could see variegatedness in that Vaikuntha, and one by one, what he saw, that is mentioned. So that Lord, he saw that Vaikuntha, that transcendental abode, there the people that are residing in that Vaikuntha, they are like freed from the effects of modes of passion and ignorance, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So in general, in this world, everyone is affected by these 3 modes, Sattva, Raja, and Tamoguna. Sattva guna is characterized by the knowledge and happiness. Rajoguna is characterized by greed and desire. Tamoguna is characterized by illusion and sleep and madness, like that. So, but in Vaikuntha, it is freed from all Rajo and Tamoguna. It is situated even above Sattva guna, which is like Shuddha Sattva. So even in this material world, even Sattva guna is there, but it is always contaminated with Rajoguna and Tamoguna. But in Vaikuntha, there is no contamination, even slightest contamination of Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So, and he could see that that Vaikuntha is prized by all the people in the world, everyone in this world, all the devatas, everyone prizes that Vaikuntha world, and it is free. There is there is no suffering in this world, and there is no confusion, and there is no fear of offenses in that world. So that means Vaikuntha, as we have previously also described, there is no kunta. Kunta means anxiety. So in this material world, there is a lot of so much anxiety. But in Vaikuntha, there is no anxiety. And there is no fear of offenses also. There is no fear only. That means sometimes people may fear or I may commit some offense or mistake and I may fall down. But in Vaikuntha, there is no such offense. So it is fear of offenses, and it is free from all the moha, mental confusion. So it is like completely knowledge, and people are always able to see the Supreme Lord. And there are no Raja and Tama, and there is no influence of time in the Vaikuntha. So that means time in this material world, how does it act? Time makes us unite with some people, some objects, and time also separates with some objects and some people. So time always, and time, with time, sometimes we get enjoyment, and sometimes with time we lose that enjoyment. But in Vaikuntha, time is absent, means there is no influence of time, means there the things are permanent, the opulences are permanent, and the enjoyment with the Lord, that serving, everything is permanent. So therefore there is no influence of time in Vaikuntha. And there is no influence of Maya also. So that means like and the products of Maya. So the 24 material elements that we have seen, so those are also not present in Vaikuntha. So that means people there, the inhabitants of Vaikuntha, they are all not made up of matter 24. They are all spiritual entities. So that is also and that should also be understood here. Vaikuntha-vasis, they are freed from Maya and free from, there are no influence of material products. And the nature of Vaikuntha-vasis is that they are always dedicated to the Lord. So they are all devotees, and they always worship the Lord, and they are all worshipable by even great devatas in this material world, and great devotees and asuras. Everyone worships the Vaikuntha-vasis, the Lords, because they are always absorbed their mind in the Lord. So that is the nature of Vaikuntha-vasis. And in Vaikuntha, so that those all these inhabitants, the males in that Vaikuntha, they are all look similar to the Lord. They are all also look similar in complexion, like dark blue. They are all youthful. They have lotus eyes. They also have 4 arms, wear ornaments. So only in 2, 3, like Lord is distinguished from all these Vaikuntha-vasis because Lord has Srivatsa and Kaustubha and other special ornaments. Otherwise, Vaikuntha-vasis also have 4 hands, and they also have kiritas and other similar features as the Lord. And then there also lot of airplanes are there. All those airplanes, they are all nicely studded with gems and other divine ornaments. And in that Vaikuntha airplanes, the inhabitants travel with their wives. So divine, they are also Vaikuntha women are also very shining, beautiful, and they are also very They look like some flashes of lightning. And there also Lakshmi, she is always engaged in worshipping the Supreme Lord, Vaikuntha Lakshmi. So she is always engaged in worshipping the Lord, and many bees surround her, and she engaged in glorifying the Supreme Lord. In this way, Lakshmi Devi is also performing worship in the Vaikuntha. And the Lord, there he is, that time Brahmaji could see the Lord Vishnu's form sitting in that Mahavaikuntha. He is shining in that assembly, and he is surrounded by his Parshadas, who are like Sananda, Nanda, Prabala, and Arhana, like that. And he is always situated there to give mercy to his devotees, to his servants, and give joy to all the people who are seeing him. He's so beautiful. And that's why whoever sees him, they experience a lot of pleasure. And he had a kirita, and he had a nice makara kundala. He had 4 arms, yellow cloth, which is shining pitavasa, and he is sitting. The Srivatsa mark is there on his gold, on his chest, and he was sitting on a throne and surrounded by different energies of the Lord, who are like these energies are always situated besides the Lord. They are like Dharma, Jnana, Aishwarya, and Vairagya are the 24 elements, are personification of the Vedas. There are several 16 energies which are surrounding the Lord, the associates. So he is surrounded by all of them. So in this way he is surrounded, and just Brahmaji, just by having that darshan of Vaikuntha and darshan of the Supreme Lord, he was thrilled, and he filled with a lot of joy in his heart, hair standing on and tears are flowing from his eyes, and he offered respects to the feet of the Lord, and he started with full of prema. He is looking into the Lord. So Lord also, because Brahmaji is a great devotee of the Lord, Lord also filled with prema for the Lord Brahma. So he also touched his hand with Lord Brahma. Very special. Lord touched the hand of Brahma with his hand, and he smiled. So that time, with that smile, Lord spoke to Brahmaji. So Lord is speaking to Brahmaji that I'm actually very much pleased with you, O Brahmaji, because you have performed tapasya for a very long time in order to carry out creation of the universe. So I cannot be satisfied with some other means. So that means, and tapasya here means not engaging in sense gratification, but always engaging in devotional service. So here I am pleased with that your tapasya, and therefore please ask me a boon. So because I'm very much pleased, whatever benediction you want, please ask me. Because I can bestow all the benedictions, and the whatever persons who perform bhakti in order to please me, all those endeavors for a bhakta, that will never go in vain, because and all these that ultimate benefit of performing that bhakti, they end in seeing in me, they end in seeing me. So that means you already have attained my benediction, because that's why you are able to see me as well as my lokas. So you have just by seeing my planets, that will reveal all knowledge, and by my mercy only, you are actually able to perform great tapasya. It was I only who instructed you those words, tapa tapa. So it is I only who directed you to perform tapasya. And actually that tapasya is my heart. That tapasya here indicates devotional austerity. So that means any kind of austerity that we take to progress in bhakti, so that is very much pleasing to the Lord. So just by for hearing also we need to take some time. So it's not easy that regularly to hear about the Lord. We have to put aside so many other things which are maybe seems very important, and that takes some time to hear about the Lord, read about the Lord. And so, but it is all tapasya, which is very much pleasing to the Lord, and that tapasya will never go in vain. That's what Lord is saying. And actually, I am the soul of that austerity. So that the tapasya devotional thing anyone performs, I am the heart of that austerity. So, and but if some austerity is there, which doesn't involve devotional service, that is not related to the Lord. So that is not pleasing to the Lord. But if tapasya, which is related to the Lord, is very much close to the heart. So there is a like Haraditam yadi hari tapah kim, naradito yadi hari tapah kim. So like that it is mentioned, if one is performing tapasya but is not worshipping Lord Hari, what is the use of that tapasya? And if one is worshipping the Supreme Lord, that itself is tapasya, therefore there is no other need of any other tapasya. So like that it is mentioned. So when Lord is saying it is very close to my heart, it is like devotional tapasya, he is saying. And he is saying that even my powers also arises from that austerity. Austerity here for the Lord means Lord never indulge in material enjoyment. He is enjoying his own pleasure with his own Hladini Shakti, spiritual world. So, therefore, please ask, like that Lord spoke, please ask about some benediction. So Lord Brahmaji, hearing the Lord's words, he asks some questions and Lord answers them. So this is called as Chatushloki. So Brahmaji asks four questions and Lord answers all those questions. And in answering these questions, he speaks four verses, which is said to be Chatushloki. Chatu means four, Shloki means shlokas. So these four shlokas are said to be the essence, or from these four shlokas, entire Bhagavatam has come. These are like seed shlokas from which entire Bhagavatam, entire philosophy of Srimad Bhagavatam is there in these four shlokas. So that's why it is called Chatushloki. So Brahmaji, when he is asking, he asks about that you are the controller of all beings, and you are situated in everyone's heart, everyone's intelligence, you are situated. So you know the desire of everyone, because you can see everyone's heart, you can see everyone's intelligence. So therefore you already know what I know, but still, since you are asking me to ask, I am asking you. Please describe about your material and spiritual form. So although you doesn't have any material form, I want to know about all your rupas which are situated in your spiritual world and in this material world. So please explain me everything related to your spiritual form and material form. So like that is the first question he's asking. And also, how by executing your yoga maya, so that means maya, how your maya is working in this world. So how similarly, how your maya is working in the spiritual world. So that means he's asking questions about his Lord's maya, which is working in relation to material world as well as in relation to spiritual world. And how your different energies are working. Then he is also similar to that question of energy, how your energies are acting in relation to how you are carrying your different activities in relation to these energies, these material and spiritual energies, how you are interacting with these material and spiritual energies. And also, after asking these questions relating to Maya and the Lord, he also asked some benedictions. So Lord has told that you ask some benedictions. So he is asking benedictions that, oh Lord, now I am being engaged by you in the process of creation. So therefore, please give me your mercy so that I will carry out your order without being bound by false ego. So I should there are in any work that we do, when the Lord is giving or any work we do, there are two things that can happen. One may be lazy, that can be like atandritaha, one may be not willing to do that work, or one is doing that work, but he is doing with a lot of pride, or he is thinking that he is the doer. So both these things can cause obstacles. So therefore, he is asking that I should be without lethargy in carrying your instructions, and also I should not be bound by false ego, thinking that I am the doer. So please bestow this mercy. Previously, you have touched your hand with me, and therefore you treated me like your friend. So therefore, let me be having relationship with you in the feeling of friendship. So, and as long as I perform this act of creation of producing different bodies for different living entities, I should not be overcome by pride in this endeavor. In this way, he asked the benediction that he should be without pride and bondage, and he should be without lethargy. So basically, what should I do? What sadhana I should do to carry out your devotion service in proper way in executing your task? So in this way, Brahmaji has asked 4 questions. So for that, Lord is replying with answers. So Lord's reply is like 4 verses are the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, and with that 2 more verses he gives some prelude that what knowledge I am going to give you. So that he is giving here. So first he says that I will give you Jnanam Paramaguhyam me Yadvijnana Samanvitam Sarahasyam Tadangam Cha Gruhana Gatamaya. So Lord's speech is like very, very deep, very grave, I mean, it's very, very, like very, very difficult to understand. Only with the help of acharyas and great devotees, we will be able to understand. So these verses, as explained by acharyas, we will try to see some of the meaning so that we can understand. So Lord is saying that I will give you jnanam paramaguhyam me, which is like very, very top secret, most secret, which is like what is that jnana? Most secret knowledge of my form I will give you. Yet vijnana samanvitam, along with vijnana. Jnana is like knowledge, vijnana is like realization of that knowledge. So yet vijnana samanvitam is that form you will be able to realize. So along with realization of that form, I will give you. And what is the how to realize this form? What is the process by which one will realize? That is sa rahasyam. That secret process I will mention. That is the prema bhakti, which by which one will be able to see the Lord. And tadangam cha. That angam is the mentioned as the sadhana bhakti, by which prema bhakti will come. So sadhana bhakti is called as anga of prema bhakti because through sadhana bhakti one will attain prema bhakti. So these two are non-different because this is like one example is like ripened mango and the unripened mango. Unripened mango, when it is in the tree, after some time it will become ripe. So similarly, sadhana bhakti, where he may not have feelings, but performing bhakti as an injunction. So that is like tadanga. Through that, after some time, slowly it will ripe and produces prema. So that is the rahasya. So I will tell you the knowledge about my form. I will tell you about knowledge about, I will, along with that realization of that form, I will make you. And also, please understand, Gruhana Gaditam, please understand this Prema Bhakti and Sadhana Bhakti. So all these things I will speak. Please hear. Gruhana Gaditam. Please hear. So like the Lord is speaking that I will tell you all these things. So by that knowledge, what you will attain. So by this knowledge, you will understand actually Yavanaham, how I am situated. Yata Bhavo, what intentions I have. Yad Rupa Guna Karmaka, what is my Rupa, what is my qualities, what are my activities. All these things you will get to know by this. Tadaiva Tattva Vijnanam Astute Madanugraha. So all these things are very difficult to attain, but by my mercy, my Mad Anugraha, you will be able to attain this knowledge with Tattva Vijnana, with realization of all these things, may you attain. So Lord is bestowing his benediction to Brahmaji that how he can attain all these realizations. So then he is speaking the 4 seed verses. I will tell in brief what are these seed verses. Aham evasam evagre nanyat yad sadasat param paschadaham yadetacha yoga shishyeta sosmi. Aham evasam evagre. It is I only who existed before this creation. Nanyat yad sadasat param. There is no one existing. Only I existed. And actually I am also that which is superior to these all these causes and effects, that is Brahman, is not different from me. So I only existed before this creation. And paschadaham yadetacha. Even after creation, it is I only who is existing. And yoga shishyesa swasmita. Even after destruction, what remains is I only. So that means Lord is saying that before the creation, I only existed. He is like pointing, like we can imagine this scene that Brahmaji is seeing the vision, as previously we have mentioned that Brahmaji got the vision of Vaikuntha and he is seeing Lord surrounded by his associates. So that time, Lord is speaking with Brahmaji, right? So that means Brahmaji is seeing the Lord with his form along with his associates and his spiritual world. There, Lord is pointing himself that Aham evasam evagre. He is pointing with his forefinger to his body and saying that I only existed before creation. And that which is beyond the material creation, that Brahman, is actually non-different from me. It is only one of my aspects, he's saying. And even after creation, what is existing in that universe itself is my material form. And in that universe, I also appear in various incarnations. So, Paschadaham, that which is existing even after creation, is me only. And after destruction, yoga shishyeta sosmyam. Even after destruction, what is remaining is me only. So like that, Lord is saying that before creation, I only exist. That means Lord is saying that before this creation, only Lord Narayana, Vishnu exists. So that's what even the Vedas, Shrutis are also saying. Vasudeva idam agra asin. Vasudeva is exist even prior to this universe. Na Brahma, na cha Shankara. Not Brahma and Shiva did not exist. Purusho Havai Narayana. That Purusha is Narayana. Eko Havai Narayana Asit. Narayana alone existed. And so others doesn't exist. So in this way, we can understand that Narayana alone existed before creation. So when he's saying that Lord alone existed, it also means that Lord is surrounded with all his associates. So when we say when a king exists, so that means king is surrounded by his associates. He doesn't stay alone. So that means Lord is there along with his attendants, as Brahmaji is able to see. So that means all his associates, they are also spiritual. They are also before creation. They are also beyond these material worlds. There are other slokas which also mention, which says that Lord is there, and before creation, there are some persons who are serving the Lord. So that means all these associates of the Lord, they are also beyond this material elements. They are also situated eternally with the Lord. And Lord is existing. Asan, I exist. That means something is existing. That means the concept that nothing is existing is rejected. So something is, it's not that nothing is existing, something is existing. That is clear. And also, when we say someone is existing, that means he is also performing activities. For example, king is not performing his kingly duties. So that means he is performing his other activities like eating and sleeping. So similarly, Lord is existing before creation. That means he is not performing the activities of creation, but he is performing his own Leela in his Vaikuntha, in his world. So that is also implied by mentioning this. And he exists means he exists in Vaikuntha and also various avatars. So he exists in some particular place which is beyond this creation. So that is also implied. This exists in Vaikuntha, which is beyond this material world and which is superior to all the causes and effects rather from the 24 elements. And he also mentioning that after creation I exist. That means all these universes are also me only. These are all my material forms. And I also exist at the after creation also. I exist in Vaikuntha as separately. And also even within these universes, I exist as Paramatma. And also as various avatars, like whenever I take avatars like Matsya avatar, Varaha avatar, and other avatars, I also exist in these universes also. And after existence, after annihilation also, I only it is remaining after Yogashisheta Sosmiham. So I only remaining. So therefore, Aham is repeated 3 times in this word, in this verse, to define the Lord is situated in all the 3 phases of time. That is before creation, during creation, and after creation. So in this way, the superior knowledge of the Lord's form is described in this verse. So Lord's form existing before creation, even after creation, he is existing in the universe as a material form, and spiritual form is also existing separately, and also after annihilation is existing. So Lord's spiritual form, superior form, and material form both are mentioned in this shloka. So okay. Should I continue for some time or should I stop? There are more explanations for this. They're like theory, like a lot of philosophy is there involved in this, where we can understand clearly the different nature of the Lord.
It's up to you, Prabhu. If you have nothing to do after our class, and we joined late, that's why. So, but if you're busy and you have activities to do, then you can go ahead, Prabhu.
Okay, I can continue maybe 5-10 minutes, maybe if you are
sure,
ready.
Prabhu. Yeah.
Okay. So then, Lord is saying that the next shloka, Rite ardham yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani tadvidyad atmano maya yata baso yata tamah. So he's saying that whatever you should understand that my maya, tadvidyad atmano maya, understand my maya, by which you will be able to understand certain things, certain real objects and certain false objects. All these things are happening by my maya, he's saying. He is using one analogy, yata bhaso yata tamaha. That means in some light and in some darkness. So I will explain the analogy using some, I will explain the meaning using some analogy which is quoted by Acharyas. So for example, in the room, we have our light. So when light is there and some chair is there, we will be able to clearly see the chair. And there are maybe some rope some wire is lying somewhere, and we will think that that wire as the wire, not like snake. So when light is there, we will be able to recognize the object as it is, and we will not see some snakes which are not there. We will not perceive them. So similarly, when Vidya, the potency, the material potency, material Maya has, like material Maya has three aspects. One is called Vidya, another is called Avidya, another is called Pradhana. So Pradhana is the material aspect from which all the 24 elements have come and through which the matter has formed. Vidya is the knowledge potency, and Avidya is the ignorance potency by which Jiva identifies with this material world. So when Vidya is there, that person will be clearly able to see he is the Atma, different from this body, and he has the knowledge aspect and bliss aspect in relation to the self. So just like when light is there, we will see chair as chair and wire as wire. We will not see wire as snake. The snake is not there in the room, so we will not perceive the snake. But when the darkness is there, yata tamaha, darkness is there when no light is there. So that time, even if chair is there, we will not be able to perceive that chair. And we may think that some snake is there in the room and it might bite me, because we will not be able to perceive. That means things that are existing, we are not able to perceive, and things that are not there, we are thinking that it is there. So similarly, when avidya is there, we falsely identify with this body and subtle body, and therefore we will see lamentation and other things which are in relationship with the body. We will perceive, and we will not be able to perceive the nature of soul, which is like knowledge and bliss. Those things we will not perceive, but we will perceive ignorance, lamentation, which are in connection with the body. So that is with respect to darkness. That is with respect to when avidya is there. So in this way, when knowledge is there, we will perceive in one way, but that is vidya is there. But when avidya is there, which is ignorance is there, we will not be able to perceive properly. So that is what Lord is saying. So that is with respect to material energy. But the same verse, Lord, when he speaks in different multiple meanings can come. The same verse is also speaking about his yoga maya, spiritual maya. So where in the spiritual mayas, in the spiritual world also, yoga maya works, where sometimes it hits the Lord from the different devotees and it sometimes reveals. For example, Mother Yashoda is seeing, like when Krishna, he opens his mouth, Mother Yashoda is asking Krishna to open. So that time Krishna was like a little afraid. So he wanted to bewilder Mother Yashoda. So Yogamaya immediately manifested different universes in the mouth of Krishna. So all those things Mother Yashoda could see in the mouth. But after some time, again that vision is withdrawn from Mother Yashoda. So Yogamaya sometimes displayed some things, withdraw some things. Similarly, for Brahmaji, he is when he stole some of the friends of Krishna and cows, all those cows and friends, they showed the Vishnu's form, Brahma Vimoha Lila. And again, after some time, it was withdrawn. So, like Yogamaya is revealing some things and Yogamaya is hiding some things. So, all these things also take place with respect to Yogamaya. So, both Mahamaya and Yogamaya, both material Maya and spiritual Maya, both are acting, both are sometimes revealing some things and revealing. sometimes hiding some things. In this way, Lord explained about how Maya is working in this in connection with the in this material world. Okay. So maybe I will continue this discussion in the next time. Next two verses are there. More in the Chatushloki, we have covered two slokas.
Sure, Prabhu.
If there are anything one wants to add something.
Can you unmute everybody, Prabhu? Anybody has any questions?
No questions.
Okay, hope I think this is okay discussion.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
We will end here. Thank
Hare
you.
Bol.
And
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Shiva. Jai Shri Prabhupada.